I was stunned by this decision, and particularly by the unseemly haste with which it was carried out. I can't understand the logic of really going ahead to implement this disqualification while an appeal is in process, and it could well result in a higher court choosing to stay the conviction. And in any case, there is a whole issue of whether the suspension of the sentence itself may be enough grounds to delay disqualification, because it is the 2-year sentence that attracts disqualification. But when that sentence has been actually suspended and the 2 years is therefore no longer operative, then what are the grounds for disqualification? I don't understand the logic of this. I do believe that the lawyers will certainly be questioning this. And I also believe that it sends a very poor signal to the world about the state of Indian democracy when the leader of the principal opposition party is treated in this way. I think you can't muzzle voices in a democracy and still call yourself democratic.
He was not allowed to speak inside the parliament, even though the opposition was continually requesting. He was not allowed to speak. On the basis of his speech in London.
That's correct. I mean, I think that was also very disappointing when the opposition tried to essentially provide our side of the story, or at least our explanation for what Rahul Gandhi actually said, to show the nation that there was nothing there that required an apology. The BJP, the Treasury benches preferred to disrupt the session rather than to allow Rahul Gandhi to speak. I think that was also very unfortunate. But one thing that is happening is that the opposition is coming together on this. We have had Mamata Banerjee, Arvind Kejriwal of Aam Aadmi Party, Pinarayi Vijayan, the CPM Chief Minister of Kerala, all of whom are really bitterly opposed to the Congress in their own states. They have come together and said, let's stand by Rahul Gandhi. I think that's a good sign, and I'm certainly hopeful that this message of opposition unity will turn out to be the one silver lining in today's cloud.
Soon after the disqualification comes out, there are reports about this discussions going on conducting a by-election in Gandhi.
Well, I think that even if they announce a by-election, if a higher court decides to stay the conviction or stay the 2-year sentence and the conviction, then by-election need not be called. We've seen this in the case of Mr. Faisal of Lakshadweep in a very similar situation where he was disqualified, by-election was called, and 2 days before that by-election he won a stay of his conviction, and as a result, in fact, the conviction did not go ahead and the by-election was cancelled. So we might see something like that. I certainly hope that the courts will see the merit of our arguments.
Do you think it's a targeted after this success of the marathon?
Well, look, I think the government, for whatever reason, is certainly going after opposition leaders. Mr. Gandhi is the principal target, but not the only one. Others have been. We've got 2 Delhi ministers who are in jail today, and we don't know who else might be next in the lens of this government. They've been very, very tough on the opposition. And I think that this kind of bare-knuckled politics, politics with the gloves off, as I tweeted, is not healthy for democracy, because our democracy should be civil to each other. There's always been a certain collegiality, even amongst political rivals. When you think of, for example, of the respectful relationship that Mr. Vajpayee enjoyed with Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, with Indira Gandhi and with Rajiv Gandhi, and you contrast it with the absolute Cold War that's going on between Mr. Modi and Mr. Shah on the one hand and the opposition leaders on the other, there is something wrong here, and I think it's not good for our democracy. We should be able to see each other as human beings who are united in the common purpose of creating a better India. We have different opinions about how to do it, we have different ways of doing it, but ultimately we should keep that larger picture in mind. And I feel that this government has disappointed many of us in India by failing to keep the larger picture of our democracy in doing such petty actions as this episode involving Rahul Gandhi.
नमस्कार, मैं हूं मानक गुप्ता। अगर आपको हमारा ये वीडियो पसंद आया हो तो इसे लाइक और शेयर जरूर करें, और हां, हमें सब्सक्राइब और फॉलो करना ना भूलें ताकि आप देश और दुनिया की कोई खबर मिस ना करें। तो जुड़े रहिए हमारे साथ और देखते रहिए News 24।